Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Brave webinar. Today, we're going to talk about how to create a clear brand message that touches the heart of your audience. Obviously, a very important topic for people who are marketing their own services, simply because when you're trying to market yourself, sometimes you find yourself having limiting beliefs, fears that block you from being your very best. So, this is what we're going to talk about today. And secondly, we're also going to talk about how to create a clear brand message, identify a clear group of people that you want to serve, instead of trying to be too generic and trying to be serving everyone. So, let's get started. I will share with you today a process that will at least double your confidence and reduce the opportunity cost in your business. The reason I say that is when you are clear on your core message, when you are clear on what you are about and how you add value to other people, then a lot of the self doubt disappears, and you are more confident also that your business can actually generate an income for yourself and have impact in the community. In the process of today, we will talk about not only yourself, but also about your business, because sometimes it is your business idea that's not clear that reduces your confidence in it. And that's perfectly normal, isn't it? If your business is not clear, then obviously you may not have the confidence to market it. But that's exactly what working with a sparring partner will do for you, is also to give you feedback on what will maybe more clear and what is not. So let's keep going with this. First, let's dispel a few myths. First of all, I want to get away from the myth that when you're marketing yourself, it's all about prepping yourself up and saying, "This is what I do. Look at me. I'm so wonderful." It's all about you, isn't it? Well, it's not. Okay. And that's the myth that a lot of people have. And this is why many people are hesitant to market themselves, because, for the most part, unless you're some kind of celebrity, you're not used to putting up yourself in a way like that. And for the most part, unless you are really like a global role model or some kind of role model in society, you people don't need to see you like that. People actually want to see how you understand them and how you can help them. So it's all about them, not about you. How do you help them? That's the real question. Another myth that I want to dispel: it's not just about let's work on a tagline and then put it in a website and then let's blast the heck out of social media. Those are some of the building blocks. A good tagline, how you introduce yourself, a 60-second speech, that's all good. That's all part of the holistic marketing approach. However, it's just the building blocks. What we're going to go through today is a 9-step process to have a more holistic view of your marketing. It's a comprehensive marketing approach that has worked with self employed professionals. And this is how I've looked at building a service business in the last 12 years, because it's really not just about a nice website, good social media presence, and a tagline. There's a lot more that that goes into it. So some of the problems you may have in marketing yourself and your business is the wastage of time and money with unclear messaging. You keep changing the message, you change your website, you spend a lot of time in investing in this kind of clarification. People think you do A, actually you do B. You don't know how to put it all together. So this is how this becomes a time wastage. Secondly, you may have been listening to all these trends on digital marketing, but at the same time, and when you try digital marketing, and it doesn't work. And you've paid the consultant, you've paid the Facebook ad, the Google ad, but it doesn't work. Why is that? Sometimes it could be the digital approach, but most of the times, what I find also working with digital consultants is that they cannot help you clarify yourself. They can help you create an avatar and things like that. But for the most part, they don't dig into your limiting beliefs. They don't dig into your conditioning and the things that you may not be clear about. If you say to them, "This is my avatar," and blah, 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 and to them it's clear enough, they'll go with it. Their job is to magnify your concept. But if your concept is not clear, it's hard for them to help you. So my job is to clarify the concept. I don't do the digital marketing part. I can introduce you to strategic alliance partners for that. But my job is to really help you clarify yourself, your uniqueness, your niche. Even if you say, I remember I was working with a life coach that had 3 different avatars, 3 different markets, and she wants to do it all. No, my job is to narrow her down to one and also help her understand why that one would be more suitable to her, her purpose, her sense of, her essence as a coach. A digital marketing expert is a digital marketing expert. They need you to have clarity on your concept. Okay, so, and they're not the experts on personal coaching. Okay, so this is why when you are investing in digital marketing too early in the game, you face a lot of challenges simply because it's very hard to get quality leads unless you really understand your concept. You try to follow role models. That's another problem. It seems like a good thing, but somehow you find that you can't do what they do. They have all these tricks and tips and strategies, but you can't do what they do. Why is that? Okay, because you're not them. Because when you're trying to follow somebody else's style, your best style gets hidden away. And this is why it's very important for you to understand your style, your words, your way of doing things. We learn from our role models for certain things, but we also need to learn from them how to identify with ourselves. You try to do it yourself, you try to clarify it, but you're getting nowhere. I'll show you the 9-step process and the reason why it's faster sometimes to do it with another person. Then you start doubting yourself. Oh, I've got all these problems. My business is not advancing. From the high confidence you used to have when you're thinking about the business, now you've got low confidence. So you might be asking yourself, well, how do I attract the right audience? Let's say you're getting leads, but it's not the type of leads that's converting. It's not the type of leads that's ready to buy. How do I get that right audience? Secondly, how do I feel more confident in marketing myself? And how do I put myself and my style into the business? Because after all, this is your business. You need to put your way and your essence into it. So when I survey the clients that I've been working with, and I ask them, before working with me, what has been your confidence level? They said about a 4. And after working with me, what has been the confidence level? They say about an 8 or 9. The reason being is because, again, they have a better understanding of themselves, their strengths, their uniqueness, and they put it in their business and they have better understanding what is the value that they're giving to people with their business, and they feel more confident with that. Then I ask them a second question. If you had done this yourself, after we've gone through all the sessions, we've gone through this yourself, how long would it have taken you? And they said it's about 6 months to 1 year. So I just say, let's be conservative. Let's say it takes you 6 months dabbling with it by yourself. What is the opportunity cost that you are sacrificing by doing this slowly? 6 months, 160 hours of working, let's say a minimum of 125 pounds per hour, you're looking at about 120,000 pounds of opportunity cost wasted. Granted, maybe you don't spend all the time thinking about your message. You are still getting some clients. Let's cut that number by half. Let's cut it by 3, right? You're still doing about 40 to 60,000. You're losing 40 to 60,000 pounds worth of opportunity costs because of the confusion. So here's where I come in. My goal is to reignite your genuine strengths and remove the limiting beliefs that block you from contributing at your best. I love working with self-employed service professionals, and I want to share with you the concept that I use and has been proven for the last 12 years working with them. For the last 20 years, I've been in business. I've been turning around departments in Fortune 500 companies, which has taught me how to be resilient because I was doing it also in developing economies with all the political turmoil, uncertainty, similar to what we may be experiencing right now with the coronavirus. But it's taught me to be a despite person. A despite person is someone who achieves despite all the difficulties, not a because person. I don't achieve because of this and that. Okay, so then in 2008, I started my own company. And that was a company that I bought a franchise, a business coaching franchise. And I learned to grow that firm of coaches and help them market themselves. So I've lived in various places in the world, which has helped me to be more adaptable as a person. And what I love about the combination of my business knowledge and my psychology background is that it enables me to dig deep to the root cause of your challenges. Sometimes what you're facing is a business issue. Sometimes things in your plan or in your system is not sharp enough. But sometimes you're trying to work on strategies, but actually what's getting in your way is your mindset. And that's what I'm really good at, to dig to the root cause so that we are working on the right thing, not just on what you think needs to immediate attention. So I do still own two coaching companies in Indonesia. Thankfully, the team and my managing partners are working very well without me. And I enjoy that as a passive income stream for myself at this point. Okay. I do write books only because I love sharing the knowledge. And right now, I find that a lot of people have gotten value out of my recent book, How to Make More Money in Sales. Also, because as a self employed professional, it's very important for you to understand that part of your whole marketing approach is to convert. How do you convert leads? And this is what that book is for. And it's not a basic sales book. If you've been to sales training before, if you've sold for a number of years before, this could be the book for you because this is the finer distinctions. This is what makes good salespeople great. It's not about how to sell. Okay. So that's a little bit about me. The reason why I know how to market coaches is because I've had to market these people. If you look at them, they look different. Actually, trust me, they are very different. What I learned from being a firm owner, marketing myself, as well as helping them market themselves, is a few things. Number one, everyone has their own style. Everyone has their own strengths. You cannot compare them to each other because they're simply different. However, because some of them are more successful than others, the more junior ones tend to go on this comparison thing, and they try to be like their mentors, and they try to do this when actually just on the simple things like personality differences is huge. So what I've learned to do with them is to help them understand and appreciate their own style and find those marketing strategies that work for them and find the type of leads and clients that work for them. So my job has always been the filter in the front to always make sure that my coaches see the right types of clients. Secondly, I also discovered that people procrastinate doing the things they don't like or that they're not good at. And sometimes when you see people, they have a fancy marketing plan, they've gone through all these courses, they created all this stuff, and then their biggest problem is accountability. And when you look at what they spend their time on, are the things they like doing, are the things they really enjoy and they're good at. But the things that they are not doing are the ones that they don't like and they're not good at. But unfortunately, some of those things are the keys to their success, to their future success. But because they don't feel that they want to outsource or they don't know how to pick the right strategies that suit their strengths, those strategies never get done. And that's why their business stays in the same level for many years. And it's, you know, another thing I discovered is if you want to continue motivating yourself, you've got to let yourself be yourself. And it's constantly demotivating to be compared to somebody else. And it's constantly demotivating to see a role model succeed where you've tried to copy their method and it doesn't work. Another thing I've learned, because I've invested about $100,000 at that time, I was speaking in dollars, on digital marketing that failed. Okay, so I've learned the hard way, is investing digital marketing without getting clarity on your purpose, on your core value, on your core message, on who you are, is a waste of money. And unfortunately, I've had to deal with that the hard way. So I'm very careful now, but I understand how to build a foundation. As I'm going through it right now as well, I understand that it takes more than just social media and posting things and paying for ads. So I have also discovered that when I built my own avatar, building the Brave Zone, etc., and then helped other people build their avatar, it's more than just an avatar. It's more than just identifying who you want to work with, but it's really also being clear on what is going to be their journey with you. And sometimes with people struggling in their business, what I find is the niche market is clear. It's just the rest of your business is not clear. Again, sometimes you're just working on little building blocks, but you're not looking at the comprehensive, holistic approach of marketing. And I'll show you later in the 9 steps is how you get also clear in what kind of products they're going to go through, what kind of journey they're going to go through, what kind of emotional transformation are you providing for them. So it's more than just building an avatar. So think about this. What is your biggest frustration in growing your business right now? And let's continue on with this webinar to understand how you can find some solutions for that. We're going to talk about creating a brand message. We're going to talk about the holistic marketing approach. And first, let's start talking about self-doubt. Self-doubt comes from certain things. Sometimes when you want to build a business, You've got to really be confident in yourself, your message, your services. And that's what makes self-employed service professionals feel challenged, because it's first being okay with yourself and first being okay with marketing yourself. And many of us run into self-doubt. Self-doubt comes from a few things. As you can see here, comparing yourself to other people causes loads of self-doubt. I mean, and social media doesn't help, does it? You know, you're scrolling around everybody's timeline, everybody's got a happy life, a better dog, a better house, a better boat, and you're just thinking, oh my God, my life has been a waste. But that's no good. Another reason people self-doubt, what I find dealing with my own clients and my own team, obviously, is they're not really clear on the why. And let's say they have this why: oh, I want to help the world, or I want to help people. It's not really their why. I'm sure that's part of their why, but their real why is not personal enough. They haven't figured that out. So that's why one of the first 3 steps in my 9-step process is helping you understand your outcome and your why. Third, they focus on the things they don't control. They cannot control certain things, like coronavirus, for instance. We can't control this. And if this is the focus of your attention, it will make you doubt the viability of your business. But technically, it's really nothing you can control. It's what you can do to respond to it, how creative you can be. That's something you can control. But focusing on bad news that you cannot control causes more and more self-doubt. Your need for perfection, which is also a myth, because there's no such thing as perfection. Your past conditioning that shapes your belief systems. That's could be coming from parents, could be coming from social situations, could be coming from teachers, anything or anyone in your life that has given you that self-doubt is also taking part of it. You're not aware of your uniqueness and strength. You think you're just average because you probably compare yourself to superhuman people, but you focus yourself on comparing yourself to others. You haven't had enough time to think about who you are. Or you're focusing too much on yourself instead of the client. This is another thing about self-doubt. It's like, how do I look? How do I speak? Will they like me? La, 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 la. It's all about you. And that's what causes self-doubt. When you want to get rid of self-doubt, especially when you're in the business of serving people, start thinking about them. That's why point number 4 to 6 of my 9-step process, we just talk about the client. So here's the 9-step process. I keep talking about it. I might as well give it to you. Here's the one clear path that I use to help you position your uniqueness and increase your confidence without wasting a lot of time, a lot of money, getting you more clarity about your message and your business. It's broken down into 3 parts. Obviously, as you can see, the first part, the foundation of it, is an understanding of yourself. And then we understand and empathize with the client. And then after that, wrapping it up in a marketing strategy becomes all the more focused and easier. So let's start with the you part. In the you part, we talk a lot about outcome, beliefs, and strengths. It's about getting you to understand what is it that you're after. And I'll share with you a few things. I use many different kinds of formats, but I do like helping people find their why. I do like helping people create clear short-term goals. And I say short-term first, because sometimes it's just easier to think that way with all the uncertainty that's happening. Short-term goals of what they want to achieve. The how we'll talk about later. But the why is also important, because a lot of people, when they talk about business, they talk about business all the time. What I find is that I take you back to your life goals. I always believe that life goals precedes business goals. And this is when people are not aware of their life goals, of who they want to become in their life, what they want to achieve in their life, not just in their business, not just in their profit and loss statements. When they lose touch of themselves as a person, over time, business just becomes a rat race. You keep going and achieving more and more and more, but you don't know why. You don't have that connection with the why. So we talk about life goals. We might have to break out the wheel of life and see how balanced your life has been. What do you need to get more fulfillment? Not just happiness, but fulfillment in your life. Then let's talk about the second point, which is the limiting beliefs. What is it that you don't see about yourself? What are some of the conditioning that's below the surface of the water that you're not seeing. It could be a belief system that you have that's preventing you from reaching your potential. If you're finding it hard to focus on certain things or prioritize certain things, it's because some of your value systems might be misaligned. All you can see is what's on top of the iceberg, which is your results, your actions, and decisions. But as we all know, an iceberg is much bigger than just the surface. It's a huge, big pile of ice underneath, and that's sometimes what sinks a ship. And it's understanding what's the subconscious process that's getting in the way. That it could be your belief about money. It could be your belief about marketing yourself. I remember for me, for instance, I used to be very well known for putting up vlogs, and I would be hiking a mountain or walking somewhere or being in a really nice scenic place. And I take a video blog of myself, and I talk about business and tips and everything, things that people in my industry do. Then I was perfectly happy to do that. Then I had a friend who said that was ridiculous. I had a group of people who criticized that and said I look ridiculous. And because they were important to me, it blocked me. My belief system about myself, my confidence went poof down. My identity become I'm ridiculous instead of I'm a value add. I'm a contributing value. I'm a business coach. I'm a coach, or I'm a content provider. That identity is gone. My identity became I am ridiculous. And my values was pleasing my friends and being accepted more than building my business. And my belief system was, if I keep doing this, I'll become even more ridiculous, instead of, if I keep doing this, I'll get more followers. And actually, it's interesting that beliefs actually sometimes are founded by unproven facts. Because if you look at the proof, all those videos were inspiring people. I was getting leads from it. I was getting business from it. It's just this bunch of people that thought it was ridiculous. So over the years, I've learned to balance. I've learned to balance the need to have acceptance, which I have to admit, I can't say I don't care about what other people think about me. I wish I could say that, but I'm not that kind of person. But I do balance the type of feedback I listen to and the type of friends I hang out with. And I do balance with my need to have a purpose in my life and to contribute and to build my business, and also the need to socialize. So what I've created is a switch on, switch off button in my subconscious mind. In my group of circle of those friends, I switch off. I don't talk about business. I don't talk whatever, because in many ways I still enjoy being their friend. But on the other hand, creating content and everything is something I love, and I keep doing it. So that's when I switch on. Okay, in another context. But that's just an example. I always find that it's possibly more helpful instead of just talking about theory. I just give you examples, especially for my own life, because it's maybe some of you can relate to that. Okay, so it's all that. And for me, that whole story was all about changing my environment or adapting my environment to suit my goals, because my environment at that time was filled with just those kinds of friends. Now my environment is more a variety of different kinds of people, including the ones that appreciate what I do. Okay, so that's about me working on my identity iceberg, and we'll do the same with you as well, because I think that's the second step, and that's very important, because it's unbelievable how much limiting belief I encounter when I work with clients, and how much that's getting in the way of their success. Then let's talk about the third point, which is understanding your strengths. And in understanding your strengths, there's many different ways. I partner up with this particular assessment about talent, and this is something that I've taken myself. These are actually my scores. Understanding your talents will help you, instead of comparing yourself to other people, to help you understand your uniqueness. Is all about that. The other, these are pages. There's like 20 odd pages of reports. I just picked some of the things that stood out for me. For me, the other thing is also the motivational drivers, because sometimes the difficult part about having our own business and being self-employed is you've got to be consistently self-driven. You can't wait until a boss tells you what to do or give you a deadline, because you technically have no boss. Unless you want to make your kids your boss, that's really fun. You just promise them that you'll have a great family vacation in 1 year, and then watch, they'll keep you accountable on your daily duties. But basically, your motivational factors is also quite important for you to understand. The second part of the strength process is also helping you understand your Ikigai, your reason for being. And that Ikigai, um, I love working with people to help them understand their Ikigai. With that, you understand just how good you are at a certain thing. You find your genius and you find your passions, and then you segment that part of the market that appreciates and is looking for that. And from that, then we structure a product that they would pay for. So what I like about Ikigai, it's not just this fluffy motivational stuff, but it's a combination between understanding your strengths, your passion, but also addressing the question of what part of the world, what part of the market do I really love to serve? What do they need? And what are they willing to pay for? Because at the end of the day, most of us are doing this business for money as well, because we need to have an income. So this is what I love working with people on. When I work with people on just the first part of this, the outcome, the belief systems, and the strengths, just the you part, it's incredible how clear things become. People have said that they've gained clarity on their purpose, they've gained more confidence. This London-based executive coach is an example of that. She is just building her business. She knows she can make a lot of money out of her coaching services. However, she used to just call herself executive coach. And I said, well, there's 53,000 executive coaches in your area. We looked it up. And it's just not unique enough. When we started talking about her passion, her Ikigai, basically, it's amazing what came out of her was basically what I helped interpret for her was this amazing story about being an empowered woman leader with a balanced family life, 2 beautiful children, a very happy marriage, but at the same time, a very successful career. And she wasn't building it in her own country. She was expatriated and in what a male-dominated environment, actually. And she led diverse teams and she created a good career out of herself. And I said, wow, a lot of people who are trying to assimilate to a new country, and they're a woman and they want to advance in their career and have a balanced life at home, could really learn from what you do. And apparently this is also resonating with her passion, which is helping women leaders advance, especially foreign talent women leaders. So we created a tagline that really was all about helping foreign talents advance their career in the UK, and specifically on women. So it helped her connect with her business, which is very important. So I've got a little tool that if you want to take part of or take advantage of, just email me and I'll send you this, what I call the 5-minute power meter survey. We talked a lot about belief systems. We talked about past conditioning. And I want to have you know, how empowering have your beliefs been for you? Have they been useful or have they been limiting you? So this 5-minute power survey, you don't have to overthink it. You just take it and basically it'll give you a score. And from that score, you know your power percentage. Okay, so it's kind of fun to do. If you want to get access to this, just email me. My email is cynthia@thebravezone.com, and I'll be happy to chat with you about this as well. After you do the survey, we'll have a 30-minute discovery call to help you hash out certain things, and I think it'll be fun for everybody to do. Second, let's talk about clients. And when we talk about clients, it's all about understanding them, empathizing them. They're just not an avatar, okay? It's not just about identifying who they are, which is obviously the first part, but really understanding what is their challenge, So basically, I like this book, This is Marketing by Seth Godin. It's not a new book. He's a classic guru on marketing. He said one thing. Sometimes people hesitate to do marketing because marketing has been done very badly by other people. So we think if we want to market, we've got to be just as bold and salesy and obnoxious as other people that come selling to us. But the problem with that type of marketing and why it puts us off and why it puts a lot of people off is because they're using customers like us to solve their business problem. Oh, I don't have enough revenue. I'm going to use my customers to help my revenue problem. And that's not how you do marketing. What resonates with me with Seth is that he says, use your business to solve the consumer's problem. So first of all, we need to understand what is the consumer's problem. And that's why we don't want to work on a wide variety of consumers. We just want to pick a small, viable niche for us to work with. And then we understand and we empathize them. And then we see how our business can help them. So marketing you is actually not about you. It's about them. So this is your client. It could be a man or woman. I just happened to find a cartoon of a man. Basically, it says, I want to reach my dream, but I've got some challenges, right? Whatever you're selling, you're not selling a product, you're selling a solution. So the question is, what is it about them that you need to understand? Their psychographics, their problems, the way they think about the world, their worldview. What about their challenges? What frustrates them? What are their desires? What are they trying to unravel in their lives? And then only after you get to know all these three things, and it's not just getting to know the facts about their challenges, but it's the emotional burden that they're feeling because of those challenges, the emotional desires that they're trying to obtain by getting a solution. Only then can you start talking about you. And the first part about you is, how do you understand them? How do you understand your clients? Show me how you understand me, basically. And then, of course, about your competency and why should I trust you? Okay, then we talk about, when you're selling a service, you're selling something people cannot see. It's selling the intangible. There's a book about that, Selling the Intangible by Harry Beckwith. But it's so important to put all that intangibles into a tangible. And that's what we call understanding the process. Take them through the process that they will go through if they work with you. I host I host networking events, for instance. I've also attended networking events where I see people deliver some kind of introduction. And I know they're struggling because I kind of know what they do, but I cannot imagine myself being taken through the process. I don't understand. How do you do that? And then suddenly their messages become all vague without a clear process. So I think that's really important to have that. And that's what we'll work on this you section, to help them understand what are the steps. It could be 7 steps, 6 steps, 5 steps, whatever steps you have about how do you deliver this. And then what outcome, what transformation can they expect to have by working with you? And it's not just a result. Some of your results are not tangible, but most likely it's something like an emotional transformation. Remember, when you buy a drill to do something around the house, you're not buying a drill, are you? Let's say you're trying to put up a bookshelf. You're not buying a drill. You're not even buying a hole that the drill drills in, right? You're not buying the hole in the wall. What you're buying is the emotional satisfaction, seeing all your books neatly put in a shelf. So it's an emotional happiness, an emotional satisfaction, feeling proud that your living room looks so much better now. Okay, so that's the transformation. That's the outcome that people want to buy. So again, another cool tool that you can take advantage of, just email me if you want it. It's what I call the core message evaluator. So basically, you're going to be asked a few questions, and these questions will help you evaluate your existing core message. For the most part, I believe those of you who are listening to this, you already have some kind of one-liner, tagline, slogan, whatever you want. Okay, a 60-second speech, whatever it is. Okay, so it is. The question is it attracting the right audience and repelling the wrong ones? How does it measure up in this particular survey? So if you're interested in this, again, email me. And again, we'll have another 30 minutes of just discussing your results. So let's now talk about marketing, because we've talked about you, understanding you, your outcome, your beliefs and strengths. We've also talked about your clients, understanding who they are, what their needs, their emotional needs, their challenges, outlining the journey that they will have with you, and explaining the type of transformation, promising them a certain transformation after the process. Then what? Then we talk about the one-liner. You see, one-liner is not something that you do in the first session and say, okay, what sounds good? Then you'll have a very shallow one-liner. People ask me about their one-liner and say, does this word look good? Does this word look good? I said, look, one-liner is basically the third part of all this. Have you done the foundation for the other two? Okay, because your one-liner it encapsulates who you are, your essence, and encapsulates what you do for people. Okay, so this is an example of a one-liner. And here's another point. Some of you are doing multiple things. You guys are so multi-talented. For instance, Therapists that can do marriage counseling, they can also do counseling for autistic children, for instance. How do you put that together? You don't. You don't put it together. You have different kinds of marketing focus for different audiences, because for the most part, people who are looking for autistic help for their autistic children may not even be interested in clicking an ad about marriage counseling. Okay, so it's two different things. Don't try to put things together. Like, I do a lot of things. I can do business coaching. I coach people in transitions. I coach people to better communicate with their partners. But I also, in this particular webinar, I'm focusing on brave marketing. I'm helping people to market their message better. I'm helping people to put their strengths in the spotlight. I don't try to put all that together. I don't say, well, if you're in transition, if you're having problem with your partners, if you're having trouble with your marketing message, it's too confusing. And for the most part, it's all right for you to be multi-talented, but don't have multiple messages in one campaign. It's confusing, okay? And maybe some of the reasons why you've been confused and you've been confusing people is because you're trying to put yourself together. No, take yourselves apart, put different marketing campaigns behind each, and if possible, it's not what can you do, but it's what can you do first? What should you focus on first? And some of the points that you might consider could be the target market volume, the size of the market, because this one is a bigger size. You want to do this one first because it has more opportunity. Some of the other consideration points, because you like a certain type of product more than others, so you want to focus on that one first. Another consideration, could you have more tools ready for that project compared to others, so you want to focus on that one first. Whatever the consideration, we can talk about it together, but my advice is do not try to put all these messages together. Here's my message. Many self-employed service professionals struggle to explain what they do to the right audience. That's your problem. Here's what I do. I help self-employed service professionals clarify their message and market their strengths. So it's not just giving you a tagline. It's also to clarify and make a comprehensive marketing approach. Market your strengths so that, emotional benefit, they can grow their business with ease and confidence. These are three different parts of a one-liner. It's actually not called, it's not a one-liner, is it? But it's just for ease of purpose. This is basically a one-liner. And I follow the template of Donald Miller, the author of The Story Brand, simply because I think he's nailed it. You know, start with the problem, then your process, then the emotional benefit. That covers it all. How can you do this without going through the first two foundations, which is understanding yourself and understanding your audience? How can you do this in the first session and say, oh, let's see what words look good? I'd rather take you a step back and help you understand yourself, your strengths, your passions, you know, your focus, then understand your audience, their emotional needs, their benefits that they're looking for, and then format this one-liner together and understand your business as well. So this is why my process is a lot more comprehensive and holistic than people who just go around and say, well, let's just make a slogan. Okay, it's not about that. Reason I know that is because I've tried to build this business in many different ways, and I found the structure that works. So here's Lydia, the graphic designer, not her real name. When she starts thinking about the marketing approach, there's a lot of limiting beliefs that she has about herself. She believes that she's not good enough because she didn't graduate from a hotshot school. She believes she's not good enough because she's an introvert instead of an extrovert. And what she understands about marketing and selling is all about being an extrovert and being flashy and being out there. Through the understanding of herself, you know, her outcome, her passion, her Ikigai, her strengths, she realized that she had a lot of unique selling points she wasn't leveraging. She was too focused on comparing herself to other people who's completely different than her. Then we understood her clients and what they need. Her clients needed someone like her because she was more observant. She was much more of a strategist. She doesn't just do all the talking. Okay, she's an introvert. Bless her for being an introvert, because that's what they need. And then she was also equipped with a lot of human culture background. She graduated of anthropology. She's also not just a graphic designer, apparently. She has a campaign development, campaign strategy background, and a success story behind that. So she understood the needs of the audience. She empathizes with them. She empathizes how frustrating it is for them to get a logo or some kind of website design, but it doesn't do much. It doesn't engage the audience. Then in her marketing one-liner, it's all about, are you frustrated? I help frustrated people who feel that their message is not connecting to the hearts of the audience. I help them connect through a human to human approach. Okay, so that's her target market. She's not looking for people who just want a flashy logo. That's not her target market. She's very confident now to just say, I'm looking for people who want empathy at the center of their marketing message. And she talks about how she helps them do that. So her testimonial on this is basically, the process helped her clarify the strength and how to position herself with greater confidence. Marketing and positioning herself was not her thing. She did not enjoy it. But very quickly, she grasped that it's all right to put herself into it, and that she has a lot to offer by just being who she was. And of course, I was asking very direct and big questions. Some of them took her aback a little bit, but at the end, she said, I really appreciated you just going straight in and asking that one, because that was exactly what I needed to answer about myself. So now she's very empowered. She leads a group called Empathy-Led Marketing. She has keep in touch with her. She says she's gotten loads of clients after that, which is brilliant. And because we're kind of part of a similar networking group, I did hear her name being dropped by a couple of the ladies that was in the networking group, that, oh, I've worked with her, she's amazing, blah, blah, blah. Wonderful, because that's exactly the type of image she should be projecting. She has that genius that she did not accept about herself. And it's all about that. Susan, the interpreter, she is actually, again, not her real name, but she is actually a very famous interpreter. She's worked with celebrities, she's worked with the UN, she's worked with all these kinds of big organizations. However, she was always working under an agency. So she wasn't famous, but the agency was quite famous, and she got a lot of these big jobs. Her next level of greatness is basically, she wants to go on her own. She wants to have her own name as the brand, which then brings her to the challenge of finding her core message. Well, what am I all about? How do I do my marketing? How do I market without an agency in front of me? Okay, so we worked on her marketing approach and her message and etc., and helping her understand the value she brings to the customer. It's very interesting because she's a very accomplished person, yet when she talks about what she does, she's basically explaining to me what an interpreter does. And I said, whoa, 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 Susan, I know what an interpreter does. What do you do? Is your target market someone who wants interpretation and translation? Or is your target market someone who has had all that, yet is frustrated at the quality of the type of interpretation and translation they're getting? Are you just an interpreter, or are you the best of the lot? And that woke her up. When we started working on her message, that wasn't about, I interpret things. I help people who don't understand a language and communicate in a different language. I help cross language barriers. I said, ho hum, that's really boring. That's what interpreters do. But why do you want to charge higher rates? Why do you want to be the preferred interpreter? So we took her on this process, and we found out that the way she approaches her subject, she does research on them, she speaks the language, she understands the verbiage. So when she translates and she interprets, it's not just about the words, it's about the essence. She does a lot of research. She specializes on 3 industries, and she is also very good at customer service and customer communication. So she's always, giving her extra mile, and all that we put into her one-liner. So now the one-liner used to be all about this whole thing about, we cross language barriers. If you have a problem communicating with someone from another country, here we go. It's not about that, because that's just normal. Her tagline was more about, many people have worked with interpreters and translators, yet are frustrated that the meaning of their communication is not fully translated, is not fully interpreted in a way that is meaningful. It's just a language interpretation. And then she describes her process. So she has a very customer-centric approach. She bridges the empathy gap okay, between those the two countries, not just the word gap, but the empathy gap, so you understand each other better. And then she also puts in that customer centric, because what she does a lot of the extra miles that a lot of other interpreters don't do. So it's it's very interesting that she's gone from good to great, not just I'm an interpreter. And this is what she says. You know, she was struggling to find a way to convey her message and to pick the target audience in a unique way. So we broke down a lot of limiting beliefs that she had about I'm an interpreter to becoming I'm a quality interpreter. And she gained more confidence in her strategy, her Ikigai, and her one-liner. So she's still in the process right now of using um, her new marketing approach, but she's on the right track. So again, giving you a cheat sheet. Email me if you want one of these. I've developed a cheat sheet basically to give you some of the popular and effective marketing strategies out there. You know, it's all about putting yourself in the business, isn't it? The question is, are the strategies that you're doing right now for your business the right one for you? Let's say you're not into public speaking and you've seen your mentors do public speaking and they do it very well, and you just basically suck at it. You know, some people are just not cut out for it. And yeah, you can take classes and everything, but to be honest, there's other ways you can articulate yourself. Perhaps you're more of an article writer, or perhaps you're more of a tool maker, whatever it is, a one-on-one. But basically, because you've been following this mentor, you're trying to do it their way and you're basically not succeeding. So this tool basically has a list of the common strategies used by service professionals. And across are 3 questions. Are you good at it or willing to be good at it? Are you passionate? Are you interested in doing it? And can it be leveraged? So and can it suit your existing audience? So basically what you do with all these strategies is you click which one is resonating with you. Because again, procrastination, when you procrastinate marketing for yourself, when you find all these excuses when you don't have time to execute your business plan or execute your marketing plan, it could also be because of the strategies that you're picking is not resonating with you. Or if you're trying to do some kind of strategies and you are following your marketing plan, but it's not working, it could also be because those strategies are not the ones that feature you at your best. It's like taking a photo, isn't it? When you want someone to take the best photo of yourself, you got to know your best side. And if you're not presenting your best side, the photo doesn't look good. That same side could work for somebody else, but not for you. So it's all about understanding that. So I've given you all the strategies. You tick the yes or no and which one resonates with you, and then from that, what I'm hoping that you'll be more aware of is what are the strategies that suits you. Okay, this is a cheat sheet. Of course, the whole process of putting together a marketing plan is a lot more comprehensive than this, but it's always fun to get started with something. Okay, so if you want it, email me, and I'll be more than happy to also sit down with you to talk about your results. The second cheat sheet, it's a calculator. A lot of us want to outsource, but many of us have a budget and we're not quite sure we should do it, so we try to do it ourselves. And over the years, the thing that we try to do ourselves never gets done. Why? Because we suck at it and we're not really interested to learn. Or even if we try to do it ourselves, it takes so much time because it's not within our expertise, and we'd be better off doing something else. Make a long story short, here's an outsourcing calculator. Many of us do not understand how to calculate the return on investment of outsourcing versus doing it yourself. What's the cost and benefit of outsourcing? What's the cost and benefit of doing it yourself? And then at the end of the survey, you'll be taking your own choice. Okay, so now what do I do? Should I do it myself or should I outsource it? And that's where you get started. That's why you start spending your money wisely. Because doing it yourself is not the cheapest way sometimes. If it never gets done properly, or it never gets done because you're procrastinating because you hate it so much, doing it yourself isn't necessarily the best thing. Like what you see here, what I'm doing right now, giving you the tools and everything, is a result of me outsourcing the digital part of my strategy, marketing strategy, to somebody else. My marketing consultant has advised me how to do this and how to create this funnel. Don't get me wrong, I've taken courses on these things. I've invested time trying to do it myself. But because now I take my business a lot more seriously, and because now I say, look, for once in 12 years, I get to actually build my own coaching business instead of marketing other coaches, right? I want to do this way. I want to do it by outsourcing the stuff I'm not good at and doing the stuff that I love. Okay, for once I can actually do the stuff that I love. So I invest in him, and he's been wonderful. He's earned his money from me. I have absolutely no complaints. And if you ever want to amplify your results, I would definitely recommend you to work with him as well, because this is the time and the brain damage that you're saving by working with leveraging this out. Okay, so anyway, I'm not going to tell you what to do. You calculate the cost and benefit, because everybody's got their own numbers. Basically, you put in your numbers, and then you tell yourself what to do. Do it yourself or outsource it. Again, email me if you want this. After you do it, let's have a 30-minute call. Let's discuss your results, find your learnings, and let's see if there's anything we can do together. If not, that's perfectly okay. There's absolutely no obligations. I also want to talk about, we look at the marketing part, which is the first one, but the one-liner. We talked about that, how to format that into the 3 steps. Then understanding your style, understanding what kind of strategies fit your style. The final part is the marketing plan bit. It's about helping you create a marketing plan that you will execute. Is my marketing plan good enough? My next question for you is, are you doing it? If it doesn't motivate you to do it, if it's not clear, if it's vague, if you don't know where to start, it's a bad plan. So a couple of tips about making a great marketing plan. Number 1, make sure it's leveraging your strengths, not your weaknesses. Make sure you outsource the stuff you cannot do, or they cannot be bothered to do, or it's not worth your time doing, or you don't have the brain space to learn about it. Third, calendarize a plan. Don't make your plan in a Word document only. Transfer it to some kind of a calendar that you know, this week, this is what I need to do. Next week, this is what I need to do. And for the sake of your own sanity, think short term, 30 to 90 days. Some people can do 5-year plans that never get executed. Or you can do a 30-day plan that gets executed. Some of us think very short term. And I don't think that's a bad thing, because if that's what gets it done, do it that way. Some of us can think 2-3 months in advance. But remember, you're also facing a lot of uncertainties these days. Any small business, it's not just about the coronavirus, any small business will have changes, will have dynamics that force it to change its strategies. Creating a very long-term plan takes a lot of thinking, a lot of effort, a lot of time. And you create all that only to have it change after 2 months. Why? Just do 30 to 90 days, execute that. On the 60th day, do the next 90 days, do the next 90 days, and just do it as a cycle. Short-term planning is often better, especially if it helps you execute things. And it helps you also celebrate, doesn't it? It's like, oh yes, I've done it. And it makes you feel good about what you've done. So we've talked about the 9 steps, the understanding the you, the clients, and the marketing. The question is, how do you do this quickly? How do you do it faster? Well, I'll share with you a few, 2 ways, the slow lane versus the fast lane. If you want, it depends really, right? How you see your business. If you're serious about your business, you'll try the fast lane. But sometimes some of you still have doubt about yourself and your business, etc. So you'd say, oh, I'm just going to do it slow lane. Here's a couple of things you can do in the slow lane. First, do it yourself. Okay, DIY, right? Or ask your friends and family and get their free opinion. At least you don't have to pay for it, right? Or if you are, and this may be a contradiction, but I do find that sometimes engaging in those long-term coaching programs is actually the slow lane. Don't get me wrong, I sell this stuff, back home in Indonesia. So I'm not dogging my own product, but I am. I think it serves a certain purpose. But when it comes to really going through those 9 things, you need, in my opinion, not a long-term coaching program that every week is all about progress and what have you done and accountability and hashing things through. You need a clearer outcome every week. You need a clearer outcome every session. It keeps you going. It gets it done. I love that word. Get it done. We don't need to waffle around for 6 to 12 months. Typically 2 to 3 sessions, that's it, right? But engaging in those long-term ambiguous coaching programs can just end up costing you time and money. Why is it slow? Why is these things slow? Number one, if you try to do it yourself, you typically don't learn your own blind spots. You can't see it. And people who are too close to you, who give you their advice for free, also give you their assumptions for free. And they may have their blind spots, and they may not have the expertise to dig down to you, or they may hesitate to do it because you're too close. And again, in my opinion, 6 to 1 month to 1 year coaching, even though, again, I sell this stuff, and I'm not dogging my own product, but I think it serves a certain purpose. But when you're talking about making a clear marketing strategy and being aware of yourself, it can be done in a shorter time. I used to do 6 months to 12 months coaching programs. Now I tend to do project-based, outcome-based coaching, which is 2 to 3, 3 to 4 sessions, depending on what you want. And I find that it frees my clients up to get on with it instead of, it's hard to explain unless you're doing this stuff, but I find that the results in the clients is just, you can see the results faster, and then they just get on with it instead of holding them back session after session, invoicing them one session at a time or 1 month at a time. Just work on a clear outcome. So here's the fast track for me, right? In my opinion, if you want my advice. Number one, as I do for my business, I always invest in a professional partner. Yes, it takes money, but that's why you need to get good at earning money as well. You will have a more objective point of view than trying to figure this out yourself. Secondly, I make sure that partner is someone neutral. So I hardly get coached by my friends. Most of the coaches, let me see. There are coaches that I've never met in my life. One day, hopefully, I'll meet them. I'll visit their country, or I'll visit their state, or whatever it is. I've been coached by people in Europe, US, Australia, New Zealand, simply because I don't like to be coached by my own friends. I like someone neutral. And instead of investing in those 6 to 12 month coaching programs, I prefer a project-based program. Says, okay, my outcome here is to create a comprehensive marketing approach to understand my strengths, remove my limiting beliefs, create a one-liner, and create a marketing strategies that fit me. Right, 2 to 3 sessions, that's it. Why? Commit to 100% and you'll be more focused. Every session you see progress. Every session we know what we're going to talk about. It's not just about accountability and updates. Okay, so again, nothing wrong with 6 months, 1 year coaching program. Just have a perspective of what is that for. Okay, so it's for me right now, if you're in this webinar, many of you, all you need is that better clarity, and we can get that done in 2 to 3 sessions. So again, as I said, if I can tell you a little bit about my services, basically it's many of you who are struggling to explain what you do and pick the right audience and get quality leads. Let's get you to clarify your message and create a comprehensive marketing approach for yourself so that you can grow your business with confidence and ease. This is my understanding of my target market. This is the people that I typically love to work with. Well, let's first talk about the general population. Many people are still high in self-doubt about their business as well as themselves. They have unclear motivation, and some of them are even enjoying pain. This is what I call this part of the pyramid called self-doubt and unsure people. I empathize with them. I wish them the best, but in the confidence level, they're the type of people, there's less than 3 on a 10 scale, a 1 to 10 confidence ladder, right? So I find that they are trapped in this question of, can I make money out of this? Am I sure of myself? And to be honest, for me, I think they're on level 1. And I think the cure of that, if you want to step to level 2, is just decide what you want and why you must have it. These are people that may not be ready to get help because they need to just decide, for themselves that they need to be successful. At least not get help from me. Okay. The second part of the pyramid is what I call people who are trying it out, the DIYs. They have a lot of enthusiasm about their business. They're lovely people, but wondering if do I need a private program? I prefer just to attend free stuff, pay for small courses, etc. I'm not sure I can earn a lot of money out of this business. I know I can earn money, but I'm not sure if my earning potential is big enough to invest in anything private. Why don't I try to do it? And furthermore, some of these people might be following so many gurus, so many mentors. They might be confused who's the best, whatever, but they just want to self-learn first. They're what I call level 2. I'd say, invest in quality courses, join groups of like-minded people, and get some proof, get some marks on your board, and see if that boosts up your confidence. In a confidence level, they're about 3 to 5. Then these are the people that typically are ready for private programs, ready to take things more seriously, 2 to 3 sessions intensive, just to get their whole Brave marketing strategy out. They've tried to do it themselves. They've tried to be DIY, but they're losing time and opportunity. They're not getting the results. They're just busy. And furthermore, they're feeling stuck because they realize they cannot see their own blind spots, and they're now willing to invest in their business. Why? Because they're on a mission. They have a high perceived earning potential for their business, and they're feeling stuck. So on a confidence level, they have 6 to 8 in terms of their business, in terms of themselves, but they're ready to just have a more customized program. They don't want to just courses and everything. They want to sharpen their strategies, understand themselves, and that's why many of them take a one-to-one program. And they graduate out of that one-to-one program feeling confident about their message and their unique value. They're now having fun because their essence is in their business. And some of them have achieved a lot in this very short time after the sessions, like that graphic designer, for instance, and she is admired by other people, but she may not be able to help them. And if that's the case, then she may want to refer them to me, or she might be a good strategic referral partner for me, who she's admired, but she's focusing on growing her business, not coaching others to grow theirs, right? So, but what I love about this level, the green level, is basically they understand, this is me, I love it, I love myself. They are on the way of achieving their ideal income, and they're getting the clients, they're reaching their personal best, and they're breaking their personal best every single day. And that's exciting. They've got a greater than 8 on their confidence level, and they're what I call level 4. And perhaps for some of them, when they get enough under their belt, they might one day consider about magnifying and amplifying their message through more leverage marketing. And this is where I also refer them to my strategic partners who have helped me amplify my message. Okay, so these are the things. I deal a lot with level 2 and 3, and I do get some referrals from level 4. So these are the people this is what I call, the profit pyramid, which is basically helping me understand the market that I serve and the market that I don't serve. And this would be great for you to do for your own business, wouldn't it? So everything I'm showing you about how I do things, it's also feel free to also do it for your business, because the idea is not about me impressing you with my stuff, but it's me showing you the process of thinking that you must have if you're going to create a comprehensive marketing approach. It's not just creating a hotshot tagline and a 60-second speech. So again, one clear path. Work on your outcome, beliefs, and strengths. That's the you part. Second, understand your who. Understand the customer journey you're taking them through. Understand the emotional transformation that you're promising to your customer. All that encapsulates into that 60-second speech or one-liner or whatever you want to call it to introduce yourself in your website and in person. But then also understand your style, the marketing strategies that features you at your best. And then let's create a short-term executable marketing plan that keeps getting refreshed and refreshed over and over again so that you get real results. And typically it's 3 sessions. So typically people who have gone through this have increased in their confidence and have saved time from just doing it themselves. Okay, so if you think your time is worth that much, if you don't want to waste any more time, I'd say let's book a complimentary Brave Discovery session, or you can ask me for some of those tools that I've been sharing, and we can have the Brave Discovery session after that. But basically, let's figure out how can you save more time, money, and confusion and grow your business to be that level of business that you want it to be and reach the life of your dreams. It's been a journey for me as well. And I have to say that in the last 12 years of building a top ranked business coaching firm in Indonesia, and also, as people say, gaining a lot of speed building my new coaching business in the UK, I also find that marketing your own service is not easy, but it's also not hard. But it also requires a serious commitment from you to really put yourself forward, increase your self-awareness, and invest in your business. Because ultimately, if you think what you're doing is worthwhile, then it's worth investing. And it's worth investing your time and money to get even more time and money. So I've enjoyed my process. I feel that I'm living a pretty liberating life right now. And I love contributing to more people. And if I can help you in any way, please do contact me.